Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Iggy and Billy podcast. It's going to be a doozy. It's going to be a real doozy.
We hope.
She's going to be a doozy. There's a lot more, a lot more serious shit on this one. It's going to be heavy, so I'm sorry. But we do have some little giggles in there as well, so I hope it'll be a great show. So, Billy, the first thing I wanted to talk about today was something that happened in your homeland.
I wonder what this could be.
Yeah, I wonder.
It's not like it's been fucking everywhere.
It's not like there's much going on in the UK right now.
Nope.
I don't know what people could be talking about. And to be fair, we're recording this on Sunday. So I think it's I think the interview is like a week old now.
Yeah.
But Jesus, that was heavy. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched some of the highlights. But those highlights,
they were
pretty intense.
They were something.
They were intense, man.
I will admit, I didn't watch the entire interview. I've only seen snippets of it. Yeah, I've only seen like very small snippets of it.
And the small snippets were the highlights, right? Those were the ones that people are like, hey, this is big deal. Like,
yeah.
So
yeah,
I feel you on that. The thing that I think that was the most shocking, the racism. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not that surprised. Like,
no,
I
don't think anyone
surprised.
is.
The part,
the main thing I'm surprised about is that it was the older people who were like cleared of the racism. That's what surprised me.
See, I haven't heard that part yet. I didn't know that.
Meghan and Harry, they straight up said the Queen wasn't a part of it or anything like that. It was
the people.
That was just the youngest.
Because it seemed like the gist of the interview wasn't necessarily that the royal family was necessarily awful. It's more the people running the royal family.
Yeah.
Right? The firm or whatever the fuck it's called. And the thing, obviously the big quote that was taken was like they wanted to know basically how black it was going to be. And
yeah.
To me,
they're worried about that.
To me, I don't even think that's the biggest deal, and maybe that's me being a white man. To me, it was the fact that they literally were like, he's not going to have a title.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can you literally be like, nah, he's not being given a royal title? Like, that was the part to me that I was like, really? Like, wondering how black he's going to be is obviously wrong. And especially to ask, to be like, how black do you think he's going to be? In what world is that appropriate? But the fact that he was literally like, he's not being given a title. Like, that, I was like, they could have like at least been like, yeah, he's a prince or whatever. Who gives a shit? Like, they were like, no, he's not even being given that. That's not happening. And like, to me, I was like, whoa! Like, again, I think that is way bigger news than the rest of it. Maybe I'm wrong, but like,
it's the more surprising of it all.
To me, anyway.
That's what I thought.
Because I thought even if you don't like him, you don't like someone in your family, you don't just go, well, is he my cousin though? Like, you know what I mean?
Some people do.
They were literally, they were literally just like, no, he's not being given a title. Fuck him. And I just couldn't believe that. Like,
no, that was surprising to me as well.
And obviously, it was very clear that she is not being given the same treatment. And I think that was just clear, like, in the coverage, because I remember when it was Kate, everyone was like, bro, Kate's the boss. Like, she's fucking dope. Everyone loves Kate. And it's such a beautiful wedding. And then Meghan comes along, and now all of a sudden there's gossip. You almost had it. It was there for a second.
Yeah, I was gonna try and do it slowly, kind of like this.
Oh, I see.
But then I deleted the 7, and it just left it with 7, so it just kind of went, hello! So do you know what? Fuck it. We know what we're talking about now.
I love it, though.
Maybe next time.
But, like, I just love just the whole thing about it, man. It's like, there was such clear, and I didn't know. At first I was like, I think it's because she's American. That's genuinely what I thought. I thought it was because she was American that they didn't like her. I didn't realize that, like, at first it didn't connect with me. I'm like, well, British people aren't huge fans of Americans. Maybe they're like, oh, an American's infiltrating our royal family. But now
at first I think it was like that, and now it's become a race issue.
Yeah, now it's like, oh. Okay.
So I just burst out into laughter because I was trying to get it ready for the next blur, so I was putting in 2 zeros so that when we switch topics I can put the 1 in. I have 0 hooked up to Bronson saying "shut up, you cunt."
I forgot about
so that. I pushed it. It scared the fuck out of me.
Oh god. Have you finished WandaVision, by the way?
Nope.
No.
You can blame that on my mother.
That's fine. I will.
So I'm gonna start watching it.
No, the only reason I ask, this is not really a spoiler, but one of my favorite things that I heard about the royal family was a guy. It was, there's a quote that's going around on Twitter from WandaVision, where Vision is talking to Wanda, and he says, "What is death if not love? No, what is grief if not love persevering?" Is the line. And, it's going around on Twitter. People are tweeting about it. And then someone wrote, what's the oldest prince's name? Is it Charles?
Philip. Prince Philip.
It's Philip. So the one right beside your head right now is Philip, right below Meghan, right? Yeah, that's Philip? Okay.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
So
the walking corpse.
Well, this is the quote. And they go, what is Prince Philip if not a corpse persevering? Was the line. And that fucking got me. I was like, yes, true.
Fair play.
But,
fair play.
To me, I don't know what is, like, the funniest part about this whole thing is the people that are just aggressively defending the royal family.
Yeah.
Between the memes on Twitter, the one meme I've seen multiple times on Facebook more than anything, because Facebook has the more hateful shit I find, and maybe that's just because I follow all of the high school people. But it literally is. It was Oprah on one side with a pile of money, and then Prince Harry and Meghan just a pile of money, and Meghan just goes, "Life is so hard," and Oprah goes, "Yes, life is very difficult," and I'm sitting there like, can we stop pretending that rich people don't have problems? Can we stop that, please? Listen, here's the difference: is a lot of their problems now just aren't money related. Imagine if your mother, or like if your mother-in-law said those kinds of things about your child, that would be really fucking upsetting. Whether you have $50 million in the bank or not isn't going to change your level of upsetness over that.
Oh no!
So
like I say, money can't buy happiness.
No, I think it buys a limited amount of happiness. I do disagree with that quote only because
buy therapy.
Well, unless you're living in our countries, in which case therapy's free. But fuck
Very
you,
true.
US. But no, it's
well, I wasn't gonna say anything about any other countries, but now you said it. Yeah, fuck the United States.
Yeah. But no, for me, it's the fact that it's like, I think the money can't buy happiness is false only because I think it can buy happiness to a point. If you're not struggling to pay the bills, I think that's
you have
you
have that level of stress kind of wiped out. You don't have to worry.
If I didn't have all my debt that I had, I'd be living a bit better. I think I'd be happier. I really do.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't have to pay off my mortgage, my car, everything, I'd be a bit happier. But at the same time, it's really like that whole it becomes a limit where it's like, okay, now I have enough where it's like now it doesn't matter anymore, Yeah. I don't know. But moving on, basically, the king of the defending the royal family was Piers Morgan.
Oh, what a cunt.
Now,
that's all I'm going to say.
So I watched something about this, right? And it was him talking about Meghan.
Yeah.
And if I'm correct from what I heard, they went on a date. She was not a fan. And so she ghosted him. And ever since, he's been pissed. Am I wrong in that assessment?
I don't know about that part, so I can't put any of I can't confirm it or deny it. All I can say is that, yeah, he seemed pretty pissed. He seemed pretty pissed at whatever reason.
And listen, I don't want to turn this into a left versus right thing, but why is it that a lot of the right-wing people will call the left snowflakes, and then the second that someone criticizes him a little bit on TV, he runs and hides like a fucking child?
So, yeah, we know he ran and hid, but did you hear what happened after?
No. Please.
He left the show.
Oh, that makes it better.
He left the show that night.
All I saw was people saying, because there was an article that said Piers Morgan breaks silence, and then a bunch of people commenting, don't you have to stop talking to break silence? Like, when did he ever stop talking about this? So
probably for the 5 minutes.
Yeah,
you know?
Like, it's just all I know is that it kills me. But to go on about the whole right-wing thing right now, we're a very left-wing leaning podcast here. There's been some people online talking some shit about cancel culture. Now, Billy, what are your feelings on cancel culture?
Personally, I think it is used too much. Easily. Like,
Fair.
there will be the smallest thing and somebody like, oh no, fuck you.
Fair.
Like,
but is it a bad thing at heart?
If it's used correctly, no. Not at all.
I agree. I think that there are I think now anyway, it's become a clickbait thing.
Yeah.
It's become a catchphrase. And it's frustrating because a lot of the time people aren't assessing what it means.
No, not at all.
They're just saying it. It's a buzzword now. Eminem's canceled.
Again. For like the 5th time this week.
No, he's not. Are people still listening to his music? Yes. Not canceled.
I mean, if you can call it music.
I will kill you. The funniest
thing... he's decent. He is actually decent, I will not lie.
The funniest thing about that whole Eminem is canceled thing is that it was about a lyric that wasn't that bad. That was the part that got me the most. It was literally the lyric from I Love the Way You Lie, about a horrible abusive relationship. And the line was, if she ever tries to fucking leave again, I'ma tie her to the bed and set this house on fire. That was the line.
I fucking loved that line.
It's aggressive.
I was like, shit.
Yeah. So, I do think when it comes to cancel culture, it's not always bad. There are some circumstances where people deserve to be fucking canceled. Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein. Lots of examples.
Sinatra.
We'll get to that. And to be fair, I don't think it's necessary yet, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to it.
We'll get there. Moving on. The one thing, the reason I'm bringing this up is that there are 2 examples of so-called cancel culture that has been going on rampant on social media, and I just want to slap people in the fucking face because they don't understand. Did you hear the news about the Dr. Seuss books?
Yes, I did.
Now, what do you think it is? Tell me.
I have seen the anti-Semitic things, apparently.
You've seen them?
I have not seen them. I have seen the references to it. The shit in them. You know the
so,
one
like, have you seen the images?
I've seen the images, yes.
And? They're horrific.
They are.
They're pretty fucking bad, aren't they? But here's the problem. Did they cancel the Cat in the Hat?
God, no.
No! Did they cancel One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish? No, they didn't. They got rid of like a few books that had some bad shit in them. Ones I had never heard the titles of, by the way.
No, I haven't either.
And again, here's the other thing. This was not public pressure. There was no petition to take this shit down.
I'd never even heard of them before until that point. I was like, hang on a second.
The Dr. Seuss estate said, we don't feel that it's right to have these books published anymore, so we're deciding as a company to remove them. Where's the cancel part come in?
It wasn't. It was literally just.
It didn't.
It was
happen.
It was an internal decision. It was an internal decision.
Never took place. And it's frustrating to me to see on Facebook, oh, is this shit too harsh for you? What are you talking about? It's the Cat in the Hat. Now this entire fucking library of books did not get canceled, okay? They literally took out like 4 books that no one's ever heard of because they literally have racist depictions of fucking cultures in it. And they're completely granted. The one's got a Chinaman with the fucking, like, massive ponytail eating, like, soup. And in the original version, he was yellow. Like, that's not okay.
It is not okay at all.
It
is not okay at all.
Beyond frustrating. So, like, that's what bothers me about it. Is like people are fucking acting like the entire library has just been canceled and Dr. Seuss is a bad man. It's literally
a few books.
Yeah, it's a few books, and no one was like, Dr. Seuss was anti-Semite, and his books need to be removed from the shelves. That never took place. No. So stop fucking saying, oh, if this shit is too harsh for you, maybe you shouldn't be living in the real world. Eat a cock. Honestly. You're misinformed, and you're fucking dumb. You're dumb. Seriously. Get some help. Read a book, apparently, is the issue. You haven't read a book since the Dr. Seuss ones, apparently. You're like, oh, this is good. I like Dr. Seuss. I always have. But if I go back to one of my old Dr. Seuss books and I see some fucked up shit, I'd be like, wow, they printed this? Like, and the second one, do you have any more about the Dr. Seuss before I go on?
Not necessarily. I mean, back then, it was so looked over. Like, you could print whatever the fuck you wanted. Again, it was like, oh, shit.
Again, this is the other part, and I'm going to lead this into the next thing. They're not
Perfect.
They're not recalling all the books that are already out. They're not. They're just saying, we're not printing them anymore. So you being like, oh, you got to take it with, with the times. I agree with that. Nobody's saying, oh, all the books, they're going to burn them all. Like, no, they're just not printing it anymore. Like, fuck me. To move on, Pepe Le Pew is apparently the second victim. Now, Pepe Le Pew, when I was a kid, was funny. I liked Pepe Le Pew. Looking back at it, to be honest, it's really fucked up. Like, to a dangerous extent, honestly. Like, I genuinely, when I think about it, I didn't even watch an old cartoon. I looked back and I was like, now that I think about it, I remember how scary it was because he was literally just like, I remember scenes of the cat, right? It was always a cat, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I never actually saw it.
I can think of is her eyes just being like so terrified. And I'm sitting there going like, I didn't think about how fucked up that is, but that's really fucked up. And it's, again, if you like Pepe Le Pew, that's fine. I am a firm believer in watching something, whether it's, I'll compare it to violent video games. Just because you like violent video games does not make you a violent person. Just because you think Pepe Le Pew is funny does not mean you are a sexual assault person. What do you call that? A sexual assaulter? I feel like that's a
twat.
weird. There you go.
A piece of shit.
But it doesn't
An
mean
asshole.
you sexually assault people just because you like Pepe Le Pew. Obviously, that's not the case. But the other thing, again, to the Dr. Seuss thing, they're not taking down all the old cartoons. They're just saying, we are not going to do him as a character anymore because there's no, in my opinion, there is no modern way to have him on the screen besides saying, bro, this is really fucked up. Like, you need to stop.
Yeah.
How else do you do it?
It's like what Disney are doing. I mean, with their animated shows now. When they're going back on the old ones, if you're watching it on Disney Plus or something, they will have a message saying that this is
wrong. This was another thing I fucking saw. It was another thing on Facebook where they took 3 movies. I don't remember the third. It was Peter Pan.
Peter Pan,
Dumbo, and something else. I don't remember what the third
Pocahontas?
was. I don't think it's Pocahontas. Pocahontas pisses me off.
Either that or Mulan.
I don't think it was one of those two. It was one of the older ones, not a more recent one.
Yeah.
Pocahontas pisses me the fuck off, by the way. That's a rant for another day. But
all right, for next week.
It's literally, so all they did was they put a warning.
Yeah.
Which, again, how much time does that take up in your day? 3 seconds?
Yeah.
You'll fucking make it. I promise you'll make it through. I believe in you. And then they took it down. But they took those movies down off of the kids' version.
Of the kids' profile. Yeah.
Off a kid's profile. And I saw people in their 20s that I went to high school with going, those are my 3 favorite movies. What the fuck? And I'm like, read the fucking article.
You can still watch them. They're just not on kids' profile because they don't want kids to get the wrong fucking imagery.
Exactly. And again, literally take 2 seconds to realize those are fucked up images. They just are. The Dumbo crows are just blatantly like caricatures of black people. And it's like, it's the one where, you know, if you see a white guy you know what it is? It's exactly, have you seen The Office? The US version?
No, I did not like it.
It's fantastic. There's a episode called Diversity Day. And it's so funny with how offensive it is. But basically, there's a whole thing where Michael always does comedians' bits, but he always puts on a voice when he does it. So, like, when he does Chris Rock, he's like, and he's, like, really emphasizes, like, and it's...
I thought you were going to go for it then. I thought you were going to go for the whole thing.
I was going to, just for the joke, but I realized, like, I can't do it at all. But no, it was so funny because in the show they're like, you have to stop doing the voice. Like it's clearly a racist thing to do the voice. And he's just like, but that's how he does it. It's the bit. And it's like, it's the most over the top black sounding voice that you could come up with. And it's just like, it's so awful. But that's what the crows in Dumbo are. They're just this over the top fucking, and you're just listening to that and you're like, damn. And I don't know. I guarantee you they probably aren't black voice actors either. It was the 40s.
Oh, most likely. Yeah, most likely not.
Yeah. And the Peter Pan stuff is the same. It's Peter Pan.
Yeah.
The Native American stuff in it is bad. But like, the thing with Pepe Le Pew is they are not canceling Pepe Le Pew. They're just not putting him in any more cartoons, which they shouldn't. You can't make those jokes today. You just can't do it. It's fucked up. You really shouldn't have been able to do it then, but women were seen more as objects back then, so you could get away with it.
Yeah, that's
like, I don't
think about it. That wasn't even that long ago either. If you think about it,
there's a meme I've seen at least 10 times, and it's so frustrating. It was literally like, oh, thank God Pepe Le Pew is off my television's TV set. Now they're just going to go blow up a hooker in GTA. And I'm sitting there like, Pepe Le Pew was on it was on like a, everyone can watch cartoon. It was literally for children. GTA is 18 and
It's
up.
18 plus. Yeah.
If your child is playing that, that's your fault.
You bought it for them.
Take some responsibility, parents. Try it out sometime. It's real fun. Fuck. Speaking of not taking responsibility for something, well, let's get to Burger King.
Burger King?
And their brilliant idea. They were like, guys, it's International Women's Day. How do you think we're going to, really reach out?
Women belong in the kitchen.
Jim, can you repeat that, Jim?
Women belong in the kitchen.
Someone write that down. That's brilliant. And that's what they ran.
That's how it did. That's how it fucking went.
Tweeted, women belong in the kitchen.
That was it. That was it. That's the tweet.
It's uncomfortable when, like, your 50-year-old uncle says that at a fucking Christmas dinner. When a fucking global brand like Burger King tweets it on International Women's Day. It's shocking. And it's Burger King UK, I want to add. So this is your fault.
Well, fuck you too. Fuck you.
This is your fault.
Don't remind me.
And the thing is like, it was a good cause. That's the frustrating part. The whole
if you actually looked at it,
go ahead.
If you looked at it, it was out in context where it had the context. It was saying that only 24%, I think, were 27 or something, were head chefs or some shit like that.
It was low.
No.
It was like under 20.
No, it was like just normal chefs, and they were giving out culinary courses for women.
Yeah, the whole point of it was saying that we want more women in our kitchens. So what we're going to do is we're going, because we think the gender disparity of chefs in the restaurant industry is wrong. And that's fine to think that. And you know what? I agree with you. I do think that it should be basically all positions should be as evenly gendered as you can make them. But the problem is that you decided,
you're throwing me off my fucking stride.
You decided to do that. That's about as good of a decision as making that your fucking mascot. Like, that guy's a nightmare.
They actually made Xbox games with this guy.
I know, I have one.
I don't. I've never been able to find one.
I have one called Pocket Bike Racer. It's terrible.
Of course, it's fucking Burger King.
It's not Sneak. No, I have Sneak King as well, actually. I have two of them. I found them at a pawn shop. The Pocket Bike Racer I had for years. Dad and I played that one, but Sneak King is new. I found that one recently in a pawn shop, and I was like, "Whoa, taking that piece of history." But no, it's just like literally this entire thing is fixed to an extent. It would still be bad, but it wouldn't be as bad if they literally put women belong in the kitchen, and we plan to do that by doing this scholarship thing that they're going to do. But no,
instead,
they put it on the tweet underneath that nobody can see unless you click the original tweet.
Women belong in the kitchen.
What are you doing?
Oh, that was a monumental cock up. If there ever was one on that day, that was a monumental cock up.
It was so bad, and like there's
gave me a laugh though.
And it wasn't even that. It was the fact that they were literally defending themselves in the like. People were like, "This ain't it, Chief," and they were like, "Oh, really? Do you think women should be in like out of the kitchen more often?" Like they're going at these people like, "No, we're doing the right thing," and nobody's saying you're doing the wrong thing. We're just saying you went about it the wrong way. Maybe think before you tweet. Maybe
they clearly fucking didn't.
it was just like they're like defending themselves in the replies, and it's like, honey, you're already fired. Just please. Like,
Stop it! He's already dead.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's you just see them digging that hole. Like, no, we're doing good. Just like, yes, we want to support women. Like, just stop it.
Fucking hell.
Now, to finish up this conversation about brands fucking up massively, Billy, I have a clip to play for you.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
All right.
This clip is fucking incredible, and you're gonna have a great time with it. So, just give me 1 second, and I'll bring up the clip.
All right.
So I know that this looks like shit, guys, but it's the best I could do. So sorry, but the important thing is Billy hears it, and so do you. So yeah, this is a great start.
Oh, I didn't even read that. What the fuck?
So for a little bit of context, a while back, the CEO of Papa John's, literally Papa John, he was fired. I think this was like 2 years ago because he was caught saying the N-word. And I don't remember if it was due to like a conference call or what it was, but he was caught saying the N-word. So we got fired. This is him on the news last week. And let's just hear what he has to say.
Take me back to a few years ago when you start to see these headlines coming out and smearing your good name. How did you feel at the time when you were seeing these headlines?
State of shock.
How did they find out? Like, state of shock. The other thing I want to point out is this is OAN. This is One American News. This is as right-wing can possibly get. These guys make Fox News look like an organization of news. These guys are awful. And these are literally the people. A great example of this, they were all up on Trump's dick. They loved this. They loved him so much. And one of the funniest things was they had a reporter during one of Trump's press conferences go, Donald Trump, do you think it's racist to call Chinese food because that's the country it comes in? And he's like, no, I don't think it's racist. And it's like, so then why are you called a racist for calling the coronavirus the China virus? And it's like,
fuck.
You're just sitting there like,
Jesus.
This is a news organization? Like, so that's the kind of
fuck.
Yeah. That's the news organization that's airing this interview. I want that to really be clear, okay? And that's a real clip, by the way. If you want some information on how fucked up they are, guess who did a piece on them?
Oh, no. Is it John Oliver?
It's John Oliver!
Hey!
Hey! Yeah, but
hey!
That's how I know about them. Because I'm in Canada. I don't get super right-wing news up here, just Fox News. But anyway, we'll continue the clip.
All right.
Unbelievable. I couldn't understand it. I mean, again, you have a public board that paints its chairman complicit, passive, or active. They paint the founder as a racist. They know he's not a racist. It's just unbelievable. And I used to lay in bed just going, how did they do this? And we've had 3 goals for the last 20 months to get rid of this N-word in my vocabulary and dictionary and everything else because it's just not true. Figure out how they did this and get on with my.
So it's in my vocabulary. I'm just going to get rid of it.
To get rid of this N-word from my vocabulary and from my dictionary, he's putting in the reps. All right? He's
doing such a good job, him.
He's been lifting. He has been
Jesus.
working so hard to stop saying the N-word. The amount of compete that is in this man's soul. He just can't stop. And the best part
do you know why I think it's bullshit? He's doing this on a right-wing news network.
It's not even that. The whole thing is bullshit. The fact that he's like, just all of it is bullshit. Listen to his words. Like, straight up, listen to the sentence and
Yeah.
tell me it makes sense.
This N-word in my vocabulary and dictionary and everything else because it's just not true. Figure out how.
Get rid of this N-word from my vocabulary and my dictionary because it's just not true.
If it's not true, why are you saying it's there?
That's not a thing. That's not a sentence. That made no sense. Get rid of this from my vocabulary and dictionary because it's just not true. That's not a sentence. What else is in your dictionary? Because you got to try again. That wasn't a sentence.
Do you even have a fucking dictionary?
Like, that was not a sentence, bro. And, like, that's the part that gets me. The fact that it's the fact that he's, like, bragging. That
It doesn't make sense.
The sentence itself doesn't make sense. It's the fact that he's bragging about working to get it out of his vocabulary. That's just, he's putting in the reps. He's working hard to get her done. Like, it just, fuck, it makes me laugh so hard. So, yeah, that's that clip. I just had to play that for you. And that's what happens when brands try to not look like the bad guy. They end up looking
They look more like the bad guy.
way worse. To get it out of my vocabulary. Just don't say
And dictionary.
the word.
Don't forget the dictionary.
Why was it in your vocabulary, Papa John? Get it out of there. You're a businessman. Like, oh god. Anyway, we're gonna move on to a not so light topic. This is a bit heavy.
This is very heavy. If it's the one I'm thinking of, this is going to be heavy. This is
Yeah.
going to be heavy for you too.
This is mostly gonna be heavy on me because you're not an Overwatch fan, so you don't give a fuck.
No.
But
Fuck Overwatch.
the Sinatra situation. So basically his ex-girlfriend Cleo, yeah, I hope that's his career right there on the screen there, came out with a massive Google Doc of basically just a huge announcement of, you know, what her life was like dating Sinatra. And it was really bad.
Yeah. It was fucked.
Did you read it all?
I didn't read it all. I saw the screenshots and the audio recording that was there. And I was like, fuck.
It's hard that's hard to listen to. It really is.
Yeah.
And I've been an Overwatch League fan for 2 years now, since 2019. It wasn't hard for me to hate Sinatra because I was a Vancouver Titans fan, so he was basically our mortal enemy. But that doesn't mean you want this to happen.
Oh god, no.
And the
even
more I became
to anyone.
in love with the league, I had more respect for him at least.
Yeah.
And now seeing this, it's just like, oh, so you don't deserve respect then. Well, I mean, that might be a bit far. A little bit of respect. Everyone deserves a little bit of respect. Just not a lot. And like the thing that made me somewhat positive was that the majority of comments were positive in the way of supporting Cleo.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how you read that whole thing and be skeptical. I read
A lot of people were.
Well, that's the thing, is that some people were, and some people did not have the most gentle of takes.
No, they did not. So, like, I was seeing it was like, oh, you're just a fucking liar. Like, if she was a liar, why would she have that much proof?
And here's the thing, right? Like, you can't take Twitter as a good indicator of a situation, right?
Oh god, you cannot at all.
But
And with this whole evidence kind of shit coming out, I was like, okay, this is very, very likely to be true.
And
but I think maybe there's a slither of hope that it was faked.
And
a very, very small amount.
the thing with Twitter too is that Twitter, you do need to take some opinions on Twitter into account. It's just the right people. If you're looking at replies,
not so much.
No, like if you scroll down Twitter replies, it's a cesspool.
Of course.
But I want to see prominent figures in the Overwatch community what they have to say. And a lot of them came down against it. A lot of them didn't say anything, and there's probably PR reasons for that.
Yeah. Because like they are signed up to like a league, they are signed up to contracts. They probably aren't even allowed to say anything.
Well, it's
even
not
though it's the morally right thing to do.
It's not even that, because the team came out in support of it. The team said, his former team, the San Francisco Shock, basically said, we are aware of the accusations. We are also aware that he is no longer our player. But we want to make very fucking clear that we don't support this shit.
Yeah.
And I respected the hell out of that.
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing to me. I really, really liked that. Defiant was the worst one because he said e-girls be scary to streamers, which just like...
Fuck you.
E-girl is such a derogatory word now, and I hate it. But like, why? Why you gotta say that, man? And like the fact that he was defending it, it was like Burger King all over again. Just fucking
digging your own grave.
Oh, like just stop.
And if you're still defending it after what the did you see his statement for it? The 4 fucking lines that he put out. Yeah, he put out
it's PR.
4 lines. Yeah, 4 lines.
I don't think he wrote that. I think it's PR. I don't think there's a single slice of chance that he had anything to do with that. That's his PR team going, we have to say something. And this is all we're gonna say. And that's it. Because
I feel like if he says anything, he's just gonna dig his own fucking grave even worse.
Well, here's the thing, is at the end of the day, what's gonna determine if this matters or not is the Valorant organization's investigations. Because both his actual Valorant team and the league that he plays in both said they are doing investigations, and he is suspended until they finish them. And
he plays Valorant now as well?
Yeah. He's not in Overwatch. Right. So that's the thing, is that they are saying basically until we do our investigation, he's not playing, which is great.
Yeah.
They should do that. My thing is, I really hope that they do their due diligence and they speak to Cleo as well as speaking to Sinatra. Because if they just speak to Sinatra, which Cleo said, if this is, I hope they do a real investigation, because if it's like normal esports, then they'll ask him and he'll say no, and then it's done. So I really hope they reach out to me. And I hope they do too, because she says she has more proof, and I hope she does. I hope they don't ask for the video. I think that'd be a little creepy. Because again, that audio is taken from a video. She said that it's a video, but she's not gonna show the fucking video because it's them having sex.
That's something you don't want to.
She said the video was consensual. She allowed him to record them, but in the middle of it, she was uncomfortable, and she said no, and he keeps on going. Which that's where it becomes rape, people. And the thing that that a situation is not good when you watch XQC and he's actually like, yeah, this looks pretty bad. I was shocked because I'm mixed feelings on XQC. I think he's funny when he gets really angry, but he's got some takes that are pretty bad. And he did a thing, and he basically was like, I'm friends with Sinatra. I've known the guy for years. I've played with him. I've competed with him. That evidence is pretty damning. That's what he said. And I was like... I was like, shit. XQC is like, I'm friends with this guy, and shit looks bad, bro. And I love that But again, he didn't. He's also his friend, so he can't be like, yeah, Sinatra's an abuser, because you can't do that. Like as your friend, I feel like you kind of have to defend your buddies. If it was my friend, I'd ask the victim to, like, is there anything you haven't shown that I can see? Because I do really want to know. Like, I don't want to be friends with this person, but Sinatra is obviously... The one thing I hate, too, is why can't we change our fucking minds? Why is it that it's on Twitter, all I see is, as soon as Sinatra puts out his evidence, all you bitches are gonna flip and you'll fucking see. And it's like, what's so wrong with that? What's the problem with changing your mind given new evidence?
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. Remember when Johnny Depp was a fucking abuser, and then all of a sudden it comes out that, like, she actually might be the abuser?
Oh, yeah.
And everyone was just like, oh, shit, okay, well, I guess it's her then.
And then everyone was like, oh, justice for Johnny.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're a Johnny Depp fan, and you're like, oh, fuck all you people, I knew he was innocent all along. No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up. No, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't. You just liked him and Willy Wonka, and you were like, that's my angel, and you just decided you're going to love him. Like, don't fucking tell me you knew. You didn't.
It still pisses me off that she got off of it scot fucking free.
Oh, yeah. Don't, again.
That
different situation.
Different day.
But yeah, like, with this, again, I get that he had to make a statement, but, like, that was
fucking pitiful. That was.
Why didn't you give us anything? He didn't give us
more of a statement.
Anything.
I could write more of a statement with my fucking piss.
Yeah, he didn't say shit. And to me, I go, either you're preparing for a real statement.
Yeah.
Or
you're fucking guilty.
Or you got nothing.
Yeah.
And that...
We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, that's what scares me, is I hope... Because I genuinely hope that she's right.
Yeah. And if she's not, it just fucks over, like...
Do I hope she's right, though? Because I don't... On one hand, I'm like, I hope she's right.
Oh, shit.
Because I don't want her... The reason I want her to be right is I don't want the community to go, see? That's why I want her to be right. I don't want her to be abused. I don't want anyone to be abused.
Oh, no, God, no.
But I do also think that people that make up false accusations are not as bad as as a real abuser, but they're pretty fucking bad.
Oh, yeah, they are, because, like, it ruins someone's... Again, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard.
Yeah, it really can fuck someone for life. And in this case,
he lost his roles for it. He lost Jack Sparrow, he lost fucking everything, and she got to keep her roles when she was a fucking abuser.
Yeah, and I don't think that it will affect Sinatra unless it's proven true.
Yeah.
I don't think it will affect him that much if it's false. Like, right now, his career's not over. It's not.
Yeah. Right now, it's not. It's still got to go through the investigation process.
If it comes out as true,
on rosters,
then it's over and it should be over.
Yeah.
100%. Simple as that. So yeah, I guess that kind of covers that. Was there anything else you wanted to say on the topic?
Not really, apart from at this moment he's a cunt.
At this moment he's a cunt, and if it comes out that he's not a cunt, then he's not a cunt.
And then we retract the statement. Yeah.
Not hard, guys. Normalize changing your mind. Seriously.
Yeah, like one day you like one drink and another day you like another.
It sounds stupid, but legitimately is a problem.
Oh yeah.
People are just like, massive problem. Nah, we're not allowed to. Right. And it's like, bro, just I was a right winger until I met Sarah, and now I'm a left winger. Like, I changed my mind completely, and that's fine. That is fine. Nothing wrong with that. On other Overwatch League news, just real quick, Agilities is back with the Toronto Defiant as a streamer. That is
Yay!
fantastic news. I love Agilities.
No idea what the fuck he's talking about.
I filmed a YouTube video with Agilities on the Toronto Defiance channel. You go check that out. It's a good video. Yeah, Billy, I did a video where I got trained by an Overwatch League pro. It was fucking sick.
And you're still shit.
Yeah, I'm still shit. It was really fun, though. That's only because they nerfed Pharah. But anyway.
Shit, I fucking loved Widowmaker.
Yeah, they've nerfed
Widowmaker
her.
was my shit.
They've nerfed her into the ground. Real bad.
No.
Yeah, she's got damage fall off. She has lower health now. It's aggressive.
She was my sniper bae. I fucking loved Widowmaker.
Have you played since Ashe was introduced?
Who the fuck's Ashe? No. The only Ashe I know is the fucking speedy bitch in 6.
Yeah, no.
No.
There's a new sniper in town, baby. She aims down the sights like a Call of Duty style. But she's got a single shot. She's got like a lever action gun, so she just bam, bam. And the dope thing is she has dynamite. So you throw the dynamite and then shoot it, and it explodes and continually burns everything around it. It's fucking hype. Ashe is dope. She was dog shit for a while, but she's good now, and she's.
How much is Overwatch?
Not that much. That's why I keep asking you to play it.
All right, Wednesday. It is the 14th. So on the Wednesday, I will buy it.
It's happening, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening.
It is
Next up,
the 24th. No, 17th.
Billy, do you like reality TV?
Depends. It's very. I mean, okay. I
Give me
like
an example.
reality Nightwatch. I class that as reality TV, kind of.
Okay, so
It is medical, fire, and police. It's basically a night shift on one of those, mainly set in New Orleans. And it's fucking incredible. I recommend you watch it if you get A&E networks up there.
I think I do. I'm not big on
If you
those
do-
kinds of shows, but anyway,
Yes.
can I tell you about the best reality TV show I've ever seen in my life?
You can do.
This show is called Temptation Island.
Okay.
Let me explain the premise.
Explain away.
4 couples that are in long-term relationships but
Okay.
have a problem. They're at a crossroads of some sort. So they want to make their bond stronger. They want to test themselves. So what they do is this show brings them to an island, separates
Okay.
the men and the women on either side of the island, separate from each other. They bring 24 single men and women to the sides of the island. So the 4 women are with 25 dudes. The 4 men
Jesus.
are with 24 girls. And they force them to date the singles. And at the end of 4 weeks, they have to decide, do you want to leave the island together? Do you want to leave alone? Or do you want to leave with someone else you met on the island? Now, the reason this show is fucking amazing is the fact that they have their bonfires. So it's like the little ceremony part. You know how every like competition show has like a ceremony? Yeah. So it's like that. But what they do is they take the men and they take the women and they show them a clip of their partner at the other house doing anything. And it's without context.
Jesus
So they
Christ.
just show this horrific shit. And then they just go, so what do you think about that? And it's like,
just that?
And it's insanity. So the reason I love this show is it is legitimately traumatic. Like, I'm not kidding. Sarah cried a lot, and she literally said at one point, she's like, this is like emotional trauma. She's like, this is hard. And I'm like, yeah, I know, right? It's amazing.
She's there bawling her eyes out, and you're like, yes!
I'm sitting there like, suffer.
Give me more.
I loved it. I loved every second of it because, like, we just started watching the second season, and automatically night one is crazier.
Oh, fuck.
Night one, it's just like, okay, we're just gonna do that now, are we? So I'll spoil the first night, okay? So
Okay.
I'll spoil 2 things about season 1. So the 4 couples, 2 of them we'll talk about. John and Katie is the first one. And John and Katie have one issue, and that is that Katie doesn't know what the fuck she wants. And basically, well, she does, but she's fucking stupid. She basically is like, I want an alpha male, my kids can be raised by an alpha male father, and he'll take them shooting and fucking doing all this shit. And John's a beta. John's a bitch, and like literally just like
Jesus.
She doesn't say bitch, but she does say that he's not an alpha. He's too soft, is what. And again, this is something that she says to another man, and says, "You're more of an alpha. You'd make a better father." And then they show that to John on the first first night. That's the first night. And John just literally goes, it really hurts that she would say that because my dad was a very loving guy, a very touchy-feely guy, and he actually ended up committing suicide 2 years ago. And I'm watching like, this is the best thing ever. Like,
and Sarah's just like, oh my God.
It's just like, oh my God. Like, that's a bitch. Like, I'm so mad. I'm like, you deserve better, John. And I'm not going to spoil how it ends for them, but it is amazing.
Yeah, that sounds fucking great.
And then you have Casey and Evan. Now, they are the couple to watch. Especially Evan. And Evan is a train wreck. And the whole first episode, they're talking about their relationships and their lives and like, what they're having problems with. And Evans is basically that he's not ready for marriage. And Casey is. But that's not what matters at the end. Trust me. But the thing that's amazing is that Evan literally says, he's like, yeah, my dad ended up cheating on my mom, which led him down the path to getting killed by his cheater's husband. And you're just sitting
Do you want to run that by me one more time?
So his dad cheats on his mom, right?
Yeah.
And then the woman that he cheats on his mom with, her husband kills Evan's dad. And it's like, I want to make this clear. We're not laughing because that's funny. We're laughing because like, holy shit, that's insane.
It's like, what the fuck?
That's fucking crazy. Like, and you're sitting there like, this is the best season of a show I've ever seen in my life. These people are nuts, and I'm so into it. Like, the other couple is really interesting too because their journey is really unique, I think. And now I'm just honestly, the reason that the show was amazing is because it felt real. It didn't feel fake. Like, you can't fake that shit. Like, the emotional trauma these people go through every single bonfire where they have to watch their fucking significant other do some shit. You're just like, it's so
oh fuck,
good.
What's next?
Yeah, it's so good. So if you can watch Temptation Island, watch it now. It's fucking amazing. If you like trash TV, drama, fighting, yeah, I love gossip. I love that shit. And the reason why, like, Sarah recently got into The Bachelor, and we're up to date on the new season, but I don't like it that much because it's clearly fake as shit. It's clearly The Bachelor's kind of just there to be on TV. All of the women that are there, there's like 2 of them that actually want love. The rest of them are there for the TV. This is not that. This show is not that. Like it's
just
they may be on there at first and they're like, we're gonna get through it. We're just gonna make it here. We're just here for the money. We're actually gonna make it through. And then like shit goes down and you're like, they're just like, I'm sorry. And it's like, oh my God, this is real. Like it's so amazing. So please, please, please watch that show. It's fucking incredible.
Okay.
Next,
I'll take that from you.
You should. It's incredible. You have to text me as you watch it because it's next level, dude.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, drink that down.
I'm drinking from a Toronto Maple Leafs bottle. You know why?
Oh God. Are we about to move on to the?
Oh, your mic cut out.
Are we about to move on to the topic of hockey?
Yes, we are. We're moving on to some hockey. Now, I want to teach you a little bit of hockey history.
All right.
If there's one thing you need to learn about the NHL, it's that they do nothing easy. And everything...
I've seen that when I saw a net get cut open.
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. Clint Malarchuk. Don't look it up. It's horrific. They do...
I was only going to leave it at that, and you go with, hey, this is a name. Go... Actually, do you know what? Don't look it up. Look it up. It's fucked up.
It's so fucked up. So... The NHL in 1970, 69 or 70, they add 2 more teams to the league.
Alrighty.
Now, what happens is if you have a team that has to start from scratch and you have a draft, well, naturally, you put the teams that just entered in the first overall pick, right? Because they're new teams. They should get the first overall pick.
Yeah.
But you have 2 of them. So how do you decide who goes first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
1970. How would you do it if you're in an official league?
In an official league?
Yes.
Have a playoff?
They don't have teams yet, Billy.
Oh, right. I thought you meant the teams were there. They added the new teams.
No.
Oh, okay. No, I see what you mean.
League. Yes.
Okay.
You have a choice between 1 or 2. How would you normally make a decision between 2 things?
Flip a coin.
You got it.
Rock, paper, scissors is pretty much the same fucking thing.
Mm-mm. It's competition.
Best of 3.
Yeah, it's a competition, though. Now,
yeah.
You would normally flip a coin. The NHL does nothing easy, though. So you guess what they did instead?
What did they do?
They bought
if you say rock, paper, okay.
They bought a wheel. Like a Wheel of Fortune wheel.
Like a spinny wheel.
Yes. Literally a spinny wheel. And they decided on live TV they're going to spin the wheel. And that will determine who gets the first overall pick between 2 choices. Here's the problem. There are 13 slots on said wheel. But there's only 2 teams. So that's an uneven number. So what would you do? Make it like 1 to 6 is one team, 7 to 11 or 7 to 12 as the other team? Nah, it'd be too easy. Let's make it 1 to 6 be one team and then 8 to 13 be the other team. And then 7 is just a reroll. So that's what they did.
Okay, right then.
Now, here's the question, Billy. Who spins the wheel? How do you determine who gets to spin the wheel?
I would say the announcers.
You flip a coin!
Hang on, hold up.
They flipped a fucking coin!
Hang on. No. We're not going to skip over this so easy. So, to decide between 2 teams where you could flip a coin to win, they buy a fucking wheel. A wheel that you spin, put 1 to 6 teams, and then 8 to 13, put a 7 as a reroll, and then they flip a fucking coin to see who spins it.
Genuinely, this happened.
That's so fucking stupid.
Okay, good.
My head's in my mic. Yeah, I know. That's so fucking stupid. So, how much did that cost them? Instead of a cent, which it could have been, how much did it cost them?
I honestly don't know. That part is irrelevant to the story. I mean, except matters.
No,
It matters.
I was gonna say.
Excuse me. It matters massively, but the book that I read this story from does not have that in there. But it gets worse.
How the fuck can it get worse from that?
They spin the wheel.
Okay.
And they go, it's 1. Vancouver wins the first overall pick. It's 1. And they go, no. Check again. That's 11. And he goes, oh, you're right. It's 11. My bad. Buffalo wins the pick. Sorry. So all of Vancouver's front office goes,
yeah!
And then it's like, it's actually 11.
Oh.
And the thing is, and this isn't, I mean, yeah, it's super relevant. The first overall pick ended up being Gilbert Perreault, who basically has every Buffalo Sabres record that you can have and was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame on his first eligibility in 1990. The second overall pick that Vancouver got was out of the league before he was 30 years old. But he was a massive, big general manager, but he basically did nothing for the Canucks. So the Canucks basically got massively fucked over by this whole thing. But
for something you could have just flipped the coin with.
That is how the NHL does things. Okay?
Fucking hell.
So, yeah.
I thought America were good at wasting shit.
Well, it's an American league.
That explains it.
Yeah.
That explains it.
There you go. But so that's our little history lesson, and I hope y'all learned something too, because that's a really good story. I took it from. Let me grab the book.
He's not getting paid for this, by the way. He's just.
I would never get paid for this. This is from the Down Goes Brown History of the NHL. I cannot recommend this book enough. It's actually really fucking interesting. It does tell the genuine history of the NHL, but it also has a lot of little funny stories in there too, like that one, that are just really fucking stupid and fun. And the writer, I think it's Sean McIndoe, really, really funny guy. His like tag was Down Goes Brown, so that's why it's the Down Goes Brown History of the NHL. That's what he went as a writer for a long time. So yeah, that's that. But let's talk about the current NHL. The Leafs have been struggling a lot lately. It's not a huge deal, honestly, because, I watched a bit of the game last night and I was fucking pissed just because the refs were really, really fucking bad. But it's whatever. It really is. What's more important to talk about with the NHL is that the NHL is back on ESPN in the States. So to give context to you, Billy, ESPN is basically the biggest thing in sports in America.
Yeah, it is.
So it's top
It's the only one I've ever heard of.
Yeah. So basically the fact that the NHL is back on there is massive. It's a huge deal.
And it gives a lot of people more. Like, it gives a lot more people.
Yeah, it gives the league a lot more exposure, which it needs, because it's not a big league in the States. It is easily number 4 of 4. The 4 being NFL, NBA, MLB, and the NHL. Back in the day, the NHL was genuinely like 2 or 3 for a while. Baseball wasn't as popular, and the NBA was having a bit of a lull, and the NHL was right there. And then they had a lockout and immediately ruined all momentum that they had. So there's a chance that they can get back to that. And it's exciting. It's genuinely exciting to see. The bad thing is that they have said, Gary Bettman came out and basically said that the salary cap is more than likely going to stay flat for about 4 years. So, Billy, each team has a salary cap, meaning that each team can only spend so much money on players. Forever, before the pandemic hit, it almost always went up by $2 to $4 million a season. Meaning that a guy you sold for $2 million, you bought him $2 million a year. Well, shit, he's already paid off the next season. Well, now it's staying flat forever. Basically, it's at least 3 to 4 years, they say, which means that all these teams basically are out of money immediately. They have no way to sign anybody. And it's so bad, the teams are losing so much money because almost all of the revenue is from people in the seats, which they're not allowed to have. So a lot of teams are basically saying, even though this is the playoffs coming up, the trade deadline is about to happen, and they're saying you're not allowed to sell anyone because we cannot afford anyone else. So your team that you have, this is your fucking team. You're not allowed,
like it or not, that's what you're dealing with.
You're not allowed to trade for anybody because we don't have the money. And the benefit of being a Toronto Maple Leafs fan is the Leafs are rich as shit. So that means that if a team needs to sell off players because their owner can't afford them anymore, the Leafs will buy them out. The Leafs will be like, I'll hand you a 5th round pick for them. And which is pennies. It's nothing. A 5th round pick is the most useless shit. So basically the Leafs have a shitload of options for the trade deadline. So I am super fucking excited to see if they make any massive moves ahead of the deadline. The deadline, I think, is in like 2 weeks, and we will definitely be talking about that when it happens.
All right. Would I just bring a throwback to last podcast? What was the issue with being a Maple Leafs fan? What was it? They give you hope and then they completely throw it away?
Yeah, but that's not transactional, though. It's not transactional.
No, it's not transactional. But, I mean, when you start playing, that's when you're going to get fucked up. It's going to happen.
The transactional problem is they'll make a trade that won't, like... Even, like, a lot of their trades recently have worked out, though. There's not many that haven't worked out. If you go in the past, some of their trades are horrific. And we can have a whole podcast just on that.
Oh, shit. That bad, huh?
But, oh, my God. But it's not necessarily like... Recently, I don't think they've had many that have flopped. The only one I can think of is the Barry and Kerfoot trade. But realistically, Kerfoot's still playing on the team, so it could be worse. But Nazem Kadri was a fucking god, and I miss him dearly. But, like, the Jake Muzzin trade has worked out really well. The recent Jack Campbell trade has been fucking huge. Campbell's been amazing on this team. They haven't really had many transactional problems of late, which has been nice. It's just a lot of the performance. It's they get these good players, and these good players don't be good players.
They just fucking flop.
So yeah, that's the gist of it. But yeah, once the trade deadline actually comes and goes, I'm really excited to see how this team plays. And more than anything, I'm excited. Now they're going through a bit of a slump, but it's not that bad. I think they'll be all right. I'm just excited to see how it goes further down the stretch. But yeah, that's the gist of the hockey for today. Billy, you had something you wanted to talk about today because it's basically just been me this whole show. So what did you have to talk about, my friend?
Most of the time, this is just a fucking shitty Billy review.
A shitty Billy review.
I'm sorry, what was that? Did you really fuck that up? A shitty Billy review.
Do you ever have a sentence where you say it and then afterwards you're like, that wasn't words?
Yes.
It takes you a second.
Most of what comes out of my mouth. Something didn't sound right about it. What was it?
I don't think that was English. Like,
okay, so
with your silly Billy review.
This is shitty Billy review, not silly Billy review. I've had enough of that my entire life.
It's a silly Billy review.
It is a silly Billy review.
Silly Billy.
So, I am, as you can probably tell by my t-shirt, I like rock. Rock music is fucking incredible.
Oh, good. We're going to talk a little more about rock later. That's the last topic
Fair
of the
enough.
show,
Let's do
actually.
it. All right. Oh, yeah, I remember that. So.
Let me get that up while you're talking about that.
I don't like that much rap. There are some that I like. Eminem. To me, he's meh. To Nick, I can see the anger on his face growing. But underground rap, kind of like, it doesn't sit well with me. Mumble rappers, shit like fucking 6ix9ine and Trippie Redd's old shit, I don't like. And I'm gonna say old shit because his new album that he's released, the first I think 12 songs are fucking rock infused. Like they're just rock songs. And I was listening to like, who the fuck is this? Who the fuck is this? And I was like, looking at the artist name, and I was like, no. Trippie Redd and Travis Barker have done an album where they mix, and it's fucking incredible.
It's always weird when that happens, eh? When
it is.
Changes their style entirely.
Oh, it's really weird. I mean,
I'd say my best example would be Zac Brown Band, but they were cowards and went back on it, and I'm so mad at them for it.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying this. They done an album with loads of different genres, and then they went back.
They did a jazz song. They did like grunge. They did like it was so good. They had like Caribbean music. Like it was amazing. It was called Jekyll and Hyde in 2015. It was my favorite album of that year. And then the next album they put out, they literally have a song on there called Roots. And they're like, yeah, we're going back to our country roots, bitch. And I'm like, you fucking cowards. Honestly, I was so mad. I was like,
go fuck yourself.
You could have done something incredible. And you were like, well, it didn't sell, so we're going back to the country. To be honest, it's probably their record company that made them do that, so I probably shouldn't hate on them. But whatever. Fuck them.
But, I mean, they showed they can do anything they wanted to. Yeah, that Trippie Redd album was fucking incredible. And,
what's the name
another
of it again?
person. I think it's Pegasus or some shit like that.
Look it up, people.
Look it up. It is
Pegasus.
No, because that's his second album. It is. Oh fuck.
It's not called Pegasus. Never mind.
Wait, no, it might be. It might be.
It might be called Pegasus.
I can't see. It's not showing me the fucking album name.
Trippie Redd.
Oh, it is. Pegasus. Neon Shark versus Pegasus. Presented by Travis Barker.
Neon Shark versus Pegasus.
Yes, presented by Travis Barker.
That
Deluxe.
Sounds like a pay-per-view. But it's an album.
Do you know what it sounds like? A fucking mouthful.
Go to your HMV. It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful.
So,
another artist is, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Scarlord. He started off in a band called Myth City, I believe it was. And it was metal infused with rap. That was fucking good. And then he done off his own career, went to what seemed like mainstream rap, and then he got heavy again. And I fucking love it. Like think of Oscar Alexandria rapping. It's pretty much that. It's insane. I love it.
I'll have to check it
out. I will show you it after
check
this.
it out. Oh, he will.
Oh.
Speaking of rock music.
Yes.
Today is Sunday.
Today is Sunday, the 14th of March, 2021.
I have planned the majority of this podcast throughout the week.
I haven't planned fuck all.
And we were supposed to record yesterday. Now I'm kind of glad we didn't because we get to talk about this. Gene Simmons.
It's a sign.
Gene Simmons back in 2014 made waves by saying rock is dead. And
seems like it. Seems like it's come back with a vengeance.
And now he's doubling down. He did an interview of late, and it's pissed a lot of people off. And I'd like to read some quotes.
Alrighty then. Let's read some quotes.
The point is, yeah, rock is dead. Because if we play the game from 1958 until 1988, in which is 30 years, you had Elvis, the Beatles, the Stones, Pink Floyd, and so on and so on, and began Simmons. You can go to the heavy part of it, which is Metallica, Maiden, and if you want to put Kiss in there, that's fine. I wouldn't. I like Kiss, but I don't call them like heavy metal. They've got some good hard rock, but they're not fucking metal, dude. AC/DC and on and on and on. Even U2, Prince, Bowie, the Eagles, and then you get to disco stuff and Madonna and that stuff and Motown, of course. And then from 1988 until today, who's the new Beatles?
We don't need a new Beatles.
He continued, I've heard a reaction of Foo Fighters, one of my favorite bands, but you're kidding yourself. There's always the boy bands, and this is where he pisses everybody off. NSYNC, One Direction, BTS, and sarcastically XYZ, PTA. And good for them that they've got success. Don't kid yourself. As soon as those girls are going to grow a little bit older, that's going to go away. It's like sugar. You taste it, it gives you that little energy boost, and then it's gone forever and you don't care. But don't kid yourself, it ain't the Beatles.
I'm a fat fuck. I like my sugar.
They don't write songs. They don't play instruments. It ain't that. And we all love Elvis. Never wrote a song of his life. There's just nothing that compares to the Beatles.
Can I just say, I fucking hate One Direction. With a passion. I fucking despise them.
That's fine.
Until I was sitting there in college, this was a couple years ago, listening to some music on my work's college computer while doing some work. And I hear a song. And I'm like, this is fucking incredible. This is a very, kind of early alternative rock kind of song.
Yeah.
It's got heavy shit, it's mixed. And I was enjoying it. I was loving it. And I was like, oh, I wonder who this is, because I've never heard this. Click onto it. Harry Styles. What the fuck? I was like,
yeah.
I do not want to say that I like this, but oh my god, I love this.
Yeah.
And it's never left my music library. I still play it to this day, and it's called Kiwi.
I haven't heard it.
Fucking incredible.
I don't listen to new music. I don't. I listen to music like I watch Netflix.
I listen to people like the Ink Spots. I fucking love the Ink Spots. And you would never get away with that name today. It's from I think 1930s or 40s.
What I mean by I listen to music like I watch Netflix, I binge artists and I binge albums. Yep. So right now it's the newest Foo Fighters record, Medicine at Midnight. I talked about it on my first regular Iggy Pod episode. It's great. I'm still harbinging back to some Eminem. It's been too hard to let go of that recently.
Well, you need to because it's shit.
No, it's beautiful. It's so good. It's so good.
This is going to be a recurring thing throughout this podcast run. It's just me shitting on it. Yeah.
And but no, the thing that bothers me about those quotes is that rock music being dead, it isn't.
It's not dead, not at all. It is coming back with a fucking vengeance.
Whether you're listening to it or not, it's not dead.
No.
All right? It's
not. At all.
You're just not listening to it. And is it at the same popularity that it used to be? Hell no.
No, it's not.
Of course it's not. It took a back seat and hip-hop has taken over. That's fine.
And I would like to say that hip-hop sounds the same. It sounds all the same. It's all auto-tuned shit.
See, I disagree with that. But again, it's music. It's music, subjective.
Exactly.
Right?
It's what you think it is. It's if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, you don't.
The part that I find so funny is that he went after BTS, which has he looked at Twitter?
Everyone fucking apparently likes BTS.
Does that
I do not.
Does that seem like a good group to go after? Does that seem like a popular idea to be like, let's shit on BTS?
See, I don't like BTS. I don't like their music.
I haven't heard a single song. I don't give a fuck about them. But I'm not going to be like, oh, they're dog shit. I don't care.
No.
You know?
I have listened to their songs. I don't. but I can respect what the fuck they've done. Like, they are a
changed.
Korean band, and they are so fucking popular. Yeah,
they've changed everything. They've
they
genuinely changed a lot of shit. And whether or not someone's the new Beatles, like, that's just frustrating because there's so many reasons why that's frustrating.
Do you want to list them off like a number?
Why does everything have to be the next this?
Yeah, that
shouldn't
be a thing.
The Beatles are unique, and they will always be unique.
Absolutely.
Because, and it's not like, listen, you can hate the Beatles, that's fine. You can say that you do not like the Beatles. You cannot say the Beatles are bad because you are just wrong. They are not bad. They are the biggest band in the fucking world. And every single artist you listen to today is inspired by them.
They will credit the Beatles.
And the reason why I think the Beatles are so fascinating is that they were only a band for like 9 years. And they changed so much. Like, from Beatlemania to like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Like, think of the transition that takes to go from this fucking, I wanna hold your hand. It's just like the fucking, which, by the way, that's my favorite era of the Beatles. I'm sorry. I love Beatlemania so much. I love cheesy love songs. It's my shit.
Of course you do.
But like, yeah, of course, eh? But like, to go from that and then just like, yeah, she loves you, yeah, yeah. And then to just be like talking about fucking tripping balls on LSD and shit and a yellow submarine and I Am the Walrus. And you're just like,
yeah,
what happened to you guys, man? Like, they just went so, and not that it's bad. It's just it went to this different area. Even if you listen to the Foo Fighters now, they've changed massively, but not that much. Like, not to the point where you're like, this is not the same genre of music anymore. You know what I mean?
I mean, like Panic at the Disco.
I don't know. Remember about Panic at the Disco.
Their first album is
It's I Write Sins, Not Tragedies, right? Is that Panic at the Disco?
That's Panic at the Disco. And you can hear the rock in that, the rock kind of influence in that. Their new stuff is very, very popular. They've completely changed genres,
and that's
it's
fine.
Like fucking hell. That's fine. I mean, do whatever that suits them. Yeah, do whatever suits you.
That's the thing is, I mean, I'm scared that more music is being moved to appeal and sell.
Yeah, instead of being written from the heart like it would always.
Can I bring up? That's why I respect Ed Sheeran. By the way, I haven't.
Did you look like him?
I haven't listened to his new. I haven't listened to his newest album, the Duets album. I really want to though. But his album Divide, Shape of You was the big hit off that album, and I remember watching interviews, and he was like. They were like, oh, it's a really good song. He's like, yeah, it's not the best on the album, but it's good for radio. Like, he was literally just like, yeah, that one was meant to sell. I don't care about it. Like, that was basically what he was saying. And the rest of that album is amazing and so beautiful. And my favorite part is Galway Girl, because I love that song. And you've heard that one, right?
No.
Oh, that's a super Irish song.
I'm not Irish!
No, I'm just saying that's what it is. I'm not like, oh, you're an Irishman. No.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people actually, like, at work, people think I'm Irish.
Like, no, you're not.
One of my best friends just pisses me off saying, hey, you're an Irishman.
Yeah.
All the time. It's like, no.
Like, while I'm talking about it, find Galway Girl, Ed Sheeran, look it up and listen to it.
Alrighty.
Without playing it on the show is the only thing.
Alrighty.
Because I just want to make sure that it's not on the podcast.
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Yeah, you'll listen to it for 5. Right. He's still got his things on.
Boing.
He makes it so when he hits keys, it makes a sound, and only in his headphones. So that's what he heard. But anyway,
that's just gonna be a weird thing to look at back on the podcast.
True.
Just me. Oh, I'm gonna push it again. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
that is incredible.
The reason I like it is that you don't expect to hear it. It's very like, again, it's very Irish and very just like, oh, this is fun and like, and it's great. But the thing that's amazing about that is that he fought to get it on the album. His record producers said this will not sell. They said it is.
That's better. It fucking sold.
They're like, it's, well, you have it on YouTube right now. Check the views.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Fuck. Yeah, that's sold.
What does it say? Tell me. Don't leave us
144,321,176.
Now, I will bring up, that's actually kind of not that much when it comes to Ed Sheeran. I'm pretty sure Thinking of You, is it Thinking of You? Is Thinking of You the song, Hold Me Into Your Loving Arms?
Thinking Out
Loud. Yes. That one has like 1 billion. I'm 100% sure that song has 1 billion views on YouTube. You're lying to me.
No, I'm not lying to you.
What does it have?
3.2 billion.
Ah, I told you. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. Is like 144 million isn't that much, but
that's
still
not that much.
It has a lot of fucking. It's still a
Yeah.
lot for a deep cut. It's got a lot of views, and he basically was like, "No, this is a good song. This will fucking sell. Just fucking do it." And they relented, and it worked. And I respect that. I respect the fact that he does that. And
can I just say, I hate fucking record companies that don't allow artists to put what they're putting on, like what they're making onto their albums.
I just hate
fucking
record. I just hate
fuck
record
record companies.
I hate most record companies, to be honest. But the thing with the Ed Sheeran one that was good is it's actually really funny. So that Divide album is fantastic, and there's a song on there called Supermarket Flowers, and it's a really beautiful, sad song because his grandma died, and he was clearing the room, her hospital room, and he just saw like the supermarket flowers that he bought her in the windowsill, I think it is, and like that just kind of triggered something in his brain to write about. So he wrote that whole song, and it's so good. It's beautiful, but it's funny because he did an interview with someone who hadn't heard the song before because the album had was coming out, so it wasn't out yet. And he's like, the guy's like, I just imagine it's like some guy that like, you know, he's trying to make up for the mistakes he's made, so he buys supermarket flowers for his girl to tell her he loves her. And he's like, no, that's actually about my dead grandma. And the guy's like, oh, like
one of those. Fuck.
It's like super awkward, but hilarious at the same time. But if you can, everyone, I'm sure you've probably heard a lot of the songs off of the Divide album. Listen to every song. In general, this is my wisdom out to you. Listen to albums, not singles. You will be amazed at what you find that you love if you listen to full albums. If you're listening to a song and you go, I like that song, listen to the rest of the album, because usually it's similar to the shit you liked. Usually. I mean, Shape of You is, that whole album's so good, man. Castle on the Hill's a fucking bop.
Bop!
I love it's a bop. The deluxe edition has like 3 songs on it that are I think my 3 favorite songs in the album are all in the bonus tracks. Nancy Mulligan is another Irish song. Listen to that one. Save Myself is really beautiful. It's about like I have to stop prioritizing others over my own love. It's so beautiful. And Barcelona is like the fucking most fun song in the world. It's just like this Mediterranean dance song. And like, okay, you've seen Ed Sheeran live, right? Have you?
Snippets.
So
I don't really listen to him.
Oh, he's so good. But what he does, right, is he uses a loop pedal, so it's just him when he's live. So what he'll do is he'll hit the loop and then he'll make like a beat with his guitar, like boom, and then so the funny part about Barcelona is that the entire beat to the song is him just going and like that's the whole beat, but it sounds dope as shit. It's just
okay.
It's so funny, and I think it's more breathy than what I made it sound. I made it sound like fucking Corn or whatever that band. You know that shit. But
isn't that Disturbed?
I don't care.
All right, fuck you too.
I don't care what it is, but yeah, it's just listen to full albums because I know that people love playlists, especially with Spotify, but for fuck's sakes.
Full albums are good.
The artists worked so hard, years often, to make a full album, and you just cared about one song, and they're like, yay, that's great, but there's some other stuff on there I care about. You want to give that a try, please?
Yeah.
And that's also why I buy CDs as well, because I'm 98 years old. And I still love CDs. The last CD I bought was literally a month ago, and it was Medicine at Midnight by Foo Fighters. I finally bought the CD. I said, fuck it. I haven't bought CDs. When was the last CD I bought?
Speaking of albums,
Ninja Sex Party was the last CD I bought. Their recent album, The Prophecy, I bought. Signed, that one. Because Ninja Sex Party are my gods.
Albums, do you have your phone by next to you?
Right in between my thighs. Why do you
All right. Because there is a band, and I fucking love this band. They're called Catfish and the Bottlemen. They're fucking great live as well.
Why?
I am now going to... They're good. They're an indie band.
You're not allowed to play music.
No, we're not playing music. I'm going to send you a picture because this is actually something they didn't think through on a game that not many people have heard of.
Fish and the Bottlemen.
Yeah. Don't play them out loud. I'm going to send you a picture of what the developers at FIFA didn't take into account, and it's their album cover. So that's a picture in game. I'm going to send you the images because it's probably easier to put on the screen if you're going to. Can you see it?
I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't think that through.
So what's the album title?
It is called, if I remember... Oh shit, I can't even remember the fucking album title. Oh shit.
This guy's a pleb.
Oh my god. Balcony, that's it. Balcony.
The Balcony, look it up.
The Balcony. Yeah, look up the Balcony because we are not putting that image on.
Yeah,
I was getting
basically they put that on FIFA jerseys in game.
Yeah, they put that on FIFA jerseys.
That's pretty bad. That's hilarious. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps it up, eh? Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Apart from the fact that you just went like a proper fucking Canadian there.
Eat my dick. All right,
no,
well, that's it.
All right, that's it.
Thank you all for watching the second episode of the Iggy and Billy podcast. We will be back next week.
For more clusterfuck.
Yes, I will try to get this episode up faster than I did last time. Had a hard-ass week, so we'll be all right. But we will get the episode up as soon as possible. Please follow us both on Twitter. I never asked, am I supposed to put your Twitter handle in there? Like, what do you want to do? We'll talk about it off. We'll talk about it off podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off podcast. We're not going to go into another thing.
Yeah, right. So follow us on Twitter. Follow my streaming Twitter with my fiance. And follow our Twitch. And subscribe. And comment. And like.
Do whatever the fuck YouTube things do.
Yes, all the YouTube things.
And actually, do you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do this now. Follow Nick's Twitch. Nick and Sarah's Twitch. It's mixed in one, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Follow both of their Twitches. It's fun times.
I said that.
you say Twitch?
I did.
You said Twitter.
I said Twitter and Twitch that I do with my fiance.
Well, I'm gonna go kill myself now. It's been nice.
All right, well, that's a good end to the podcast.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.